Hello and welcome to the final chapter of Beastars and the finale of part 1 of Finish Manga May, which I hope will be a multi-part series. We have arrived at the end of this series that I loved so well and that I marathoned very quickly in the last month or so before abruptly slamming on the brakes and finding myself unable to finish it. I think in the end, this complex around finishing series probably has some common roots, but it feels like for each series there is maybe a particular reason that I can't bring myself to see the end. And for this one, I honestly think it was that I was afraid of an unhappy ending, or even an ambiguous ending, or any ending that wasn't just Haru and Legoshi happily together at last. I really can't express how much I enjoyed this couple. I think it's like, I don't really relate to either one of them that much, but I've had people that I really love in my life that remind me of each of them. And it's like, just this feeling of knowing people like that, knowing how great they are, being so sympathetic to them, feeling so bad for the pain that they've gone through, and seeing that there is a path to happiness for them. It's very, very cathartic, or at least I hope it will be. The last chapter of the animal youth drama. Are you going to say yes? Come on, Legoshi, don't fucking fumble the bag. Ah! The big finale cover spread. Oh, it's so nice. Everybody's here. Alright, how many characters' names can I remember? There's that big old fucking bear, whose name was really short. Tem. No, Tem was the animal that got eaten. Tem was his friend that got eaten. The bear's name was not Bill. Bill is right here in front of him. The first antagonist, perhaps you could say. And then the eagle's name I can't remember. This fancy pretty boy motherfucker. Can't think of his name. Why did I sign up to play this game? I can't remember anybody's name. I'm so bad at it. But I can remember what everybody did. This is, of course, the fancy pretty boy who became the star actor. At the bottom is the little chick that the carnivores in the drama club were raising. Do you remember that? They find the egg that hatches of their eggs that they're gonna eat. 5 million copies sold. Amazing. Thank you for reading. There's the Shishigumi, the dead former leader of the Shishigumi, the dead father of Lewis here, the adopted father. I like how they left little halos. Juno-chan, of course. Unfortunately not Lewis's beloved, but hopefully she can live her own life. See, they already had the kind of ambiguous drifting outwards, who knows what will happen to them, but we wish them the best type ending. It was with Juno and Lewis. They don't need to do that again with Haru and Legoshi. Please do not. Please do not. There's Melon, relaxing as always, and his loose button-up. What was this friggin' bear's name? There's, Zagyo, the big seal. Goshita, Goshia, big panda. Yaya, the horse. Gosha, Legoshi's grandfather. The chicken that sat next to Legoshi and made the eggs for his egg salad sandwiches that he loved so well. The alpaca girl that was in the drama club. Can't think of her name. Why does Juno have a halo over her head? What? Juno has a halo over her head. Haru, are you fucking kidding me? Are you really gonna pull this shit on the last chapter that we find out that Juno is dead? There's no way, right? Okay, moving on. Legoshi and Haru are our main couple. And the doggies. Legoshi's roommates. Loved all these guys. The whole thing around Jack. That Jack was like bred for intelligence and stuff. And his weird relationship with Legoshi where he really admires wolves as like their raw ancestors. But then he's always teased and stuff because he's like artificially bred. It's so weird. And that one chapter where you find out about like the super gifted elite students class, and it's all just like purebred pedigree dogs that were real breds IRL, bred for their intelligence, like poodles and stuff. And they learn the true history of the world. And then just like nothing else happens with that. Such a weird series. Okay, but why does Juno have a halo? Okay, we gotta plunge ahead. Here we go. I can feel a breeze behind my legs. I feel like I'm in my own climate when she's around. Bruh. Haru. This guy has taken like a 5-semester-long college education on rabbit physiology. He has learned everything there is to know about rabbits. Have you not realized what's going on when he's wagging his dang tail? Can't you see that? Isn't that an answer enough? Haru-chan, look at my tail! This proposal, I just can't take it. Even if you get angry with me, even if you cry, my tail keeps wagging. Never heard of such a disagreeable marriage, have you? A wolf and a rabbit, male and female. It can be difficult to understand each other sometimes. Even so, I want to get closer to you, even a little. And my tail wags. I just love... I just love a character who's like so well-defined, so like consistently and coherently written, has so many like aspects to his personality as Legoshi, and just introducing this like transcendental element of his attraction to Haru, which at times is called a perversion, which at times is called a fetish. And just this feeling of like, it's just overwhelming. That no matter what else is, no matter what else, anything else about Legoshi, he just wants to be closer to Haru. It's amazing. And who even knows what that closer means? Is it romantically? Is it just emotionally? Is it friendship? Is it horniness? Is it sexual? Is it just love? Is it hunger? Does he want to eat her? Does he want to bone her? It's just everything. It's so, man. I want us to experience life together as different species. And here we can see a couple same species couples, same species mother and child, but God, man, it's so good. Is that supposed to be a proposal? Don't just switch our roles like that. My heart is beating so fast. Legoshi has done it again, taking years of my life. Small animals have such a fast heartbeat already, and my heart will give out even faster if I stay with Legoshi-kun. It's so good. It's so silly. It's like she just can't help herself. Haru-sensei gives us occasionally such like a beautiful spread, such rich backgrounds, so lovely, so heartfelt, such detail. And then just the very next panel. Something so over the top as this. And then the heart is drawn so anatomically correctly. Why? Why isn't it like a, a draw, like a little heart symbol? It's because she's weird. A wolf and a rabbit. I'm sure it won't just end happily. This relationship we have as a different species will still, regardless of the situation, require us to put everything we have on the line. I love this shot of of his shadow leaning onto her shadow. so good. Here I come. Don't crouch. I want to keep you hard to reach. And it's like just the way that she never draws Legoshi's hands as any less menacing than they really are. The nails are never shorter. They're never any smaller. It's just, I don't know. I think there is one area in which I really relate to Legoshi, which is like a sense of body dysphoria. You know, not a big surprise as a trans woman that I've had my fair share of dysphoria. And it's a terrible, terrible feeling. And I really hope that, I think everyone experiences it to some extent, or experiences dysmorphia, which is like similar but very psychologically different. I'm sure everyone has experiences like that occasionally, but I wouldn't wish severe dysphoria onto my worst enemy. And I related a lot to Legoshi in this series, of feeling huge, of feeling like just naturally I scare people, or I make people uneasy because I'm so large. And it's like, I'm not powerful, I'm not strong, I'm not actually capable of hurting anyone. But like, it's just the feeling of occupying so much space and bumping into things and knocking things over incidentally, and just like this feeling of, how am I seen by other people? How am I seen by people that are much smaller than me? Do they see me as huge? Do they see me as towering? And because I'm like 6'6", I'm like actually really huge. And I had so many little complexes because of this, like little things that I'm sure happen to everyone. Like if you're coming around a corner and somebody is also coming around a corner, and you like not bump into each other, but somebody has to like suddenly change their paths to avoid bumping into each other. Or like coming out of an elevator and somebody's waiting right in front of the elevator, and then they're startled, they like have to step back suddenly. I felt like I really took those to heart, because, you know, rationally, now that I'm feeling a lot better about a lot of this stuff, I know that that happens to everybody, that everybody startles people, everybody gets startled by everyone, right? But I always felt like it was because I was so huge, because I was so towering over them. And it also took me a long time to realize that I'm like, you know, I'm very statistically rare in terms of how tall I am. But to people that are much shorter than me, I don't really look that different than a person who's like 6'3" or 6'4" or something, which is way more common. In the same way that I can't really tell the difference between someone who's like 4'10", which is pretty rare, and somebody who's like 5'2", I wouldn't go, wow, that person is like way shorter than anyone I've seen today. I would just think, okay, those people are all pretty short, right? So similarly, I'm not really standing out as much as I thought I was as someone who's absurdly, impossibly tall. I just create the same impression of tallness as a much more common height of like 6'3" or 6'4" or something. I don't know, I feel like I'm rambling now, but these are things that were like really huge to me, that like really impacted my mental health, and took a long time and a lot of therapy to feel better about. But I do feel better about it. I really do. Like, it's possible. I don't feel so horrible about my body anymore. Like, my girlfriend is like 5 foot flat. She's a lot shorter than me. And my boyfriend is 5'10" or something, so he's still quite a bit shorter than me. We're all kind of like equidistant in height from each other. It's kind of cute. We can make like a little totem pole. And I feel good about it. Like, I think it's cute that I'm so much taller, and the differences in our body size and stuff is cute. And holding her hand and it's so much smaller than mine is cute. And I've come to love these things. But it was hard. And I can really, I think, relate like, Legoshi, of course, has so many extra dimensions of... could literally eat this thing if I wanted to in, like, 2 seconds. But I get it. I think I get it. What? We don't get the... Fine. Oh, his name is Gohin. What was I saying? Goshin? That was close. So yeah, his role as the black market extreme therapist to help carnivores cure meat addictions is not required anymore because the black market shut down. And it's the only one in the world? Unclear, but whatever. Now he's just a normal doctor trying to smoke in random places in the hospital. Psychiatric Department of University Hospital, very nice. Room 701, doing one last cleanup before graduating from Cheriton. Wow. All these big life milestones happening at once. Give it to him. He promised to meet him next week. I loved the one chapter where they go to, like, Animal Round 1 and they get to do the things that are most appealing to their species, which for them is, like, playing fetch with the machine. And it shows all the other activity rooms for different animals. I've thought that we should make that for pets because I feel like a lot of the things dogs want to do most, they don't get a chance to do that often. Like, there's, like, hunting dogs and scavenging dogs and pointers and all these dogs that were bred for generations to have, like, very specific skills, like herding or... I don't know, you can think of plenty. And it's like... They should have a little playground where they can do that stuff and really get out those instinctual urges. Beast Strike, yeah, that's what it was. Hell yeah. And just knowing that they're still friends, that they still hang out when they can. It's so good. It's so great. Like, Paru, for all of her insane levels of drama and for all the crazy shit that she does to the characters and just throwing them through the ringer and stuff, she really, like, she could have made it so much worse. She could have made it that as a result of Legoshi dropping out, that he's, like, distant from all of his friends from school, you know, and that it's, like, it could be irreparable. He could have, like, you know, he could be, like, a total loner or whatever, but no, he makes new friends. Like, Paru, she's so good at just always giving that balance. It just makes it so much more real. It makes the characters so much more endearing and just gives such a heart to the series. Okay, what's this guy's name? I have, like, one panel to remember before I turn the page. He had, like, a pretty boy name, too. Sheridan School reinstated the interspecies education system. Nice, nice. So carnivores and herbivores back together. You can fool girls, but you can't fool me. Oh, we don't find out his name. I like Bill getting irate that now he wants to act chummy. The hidden condo. His reward from the police. Oh, he donated to fix up the hidden condo. How nice. Oh, that... When I said, oh, that's the alpaca from the drama club, I screwed that one up. Because first off, it's a sheep, not an alpaca. And it was the sheep that he lives with, not the sheep that was in the drama club. Because I was like, why isn't this person with the other drama club members? But no, okay, this makes more sense. I screwed up. But whatever. Yaya retired as the Beastar, living with the 500 cornered rats. Having their meal together. Drinking carrot juice. Remember that scene where Yaya was like, yeah, I use carnivores as fertilizer for my carrots? That was fucked up. That was fucking crazy, dude. I really liked his character. His design was so cool with, like, the high top Converse sneakers and stuff. It's fucking hot. And then just his character too, that he's, like, so brash and so mean and so willing to just, like, do shit to people, but, like, that's what makes him so powerful in this world. But he wasn't, like, heroic. He wasn't, like, a nice guy. He wasn't really that endearing. He's all pissed off at Gosha for this grudge, but it's like you kind of get it too, because they really were changing the world together. God, it's so good. Another former Black Alley resident market going berserk on 3rd Street. Just kidding. He became a vigilante to protect society after the black market was demolished. Okay, so I like that they've acknowledged this. That this did not just magically fix all of the problems that the former patrons of the black market weren't just like, oh shit, it's gone. Okay, well, I guess I don't want meat anymore. But instead, you know, the forces that created it in the first place, that made it like a logical thing to have in the first place, as like a relatively safe market through which these things can be transacted without just random violence. Now we're kind of back to random violence. So it's like unclear if this is just, I don't know, like 1 step forward, 2 steps sideways, 1 step back, crazy animal waltz. But things are changing. Still keeps in touch with Gosha. There's pictures of his daughter. Wait. Hold up a second. Am I dumb as bricks? Let's go back to the cover. I'm so sorry if you've been watching this whole time and you were like, she's so stupid. I feel like, how could you possibly have taken anything else I was saying seriously? About the series, about, you know, my own experiences. The whole time thinking, she's so stupid. She thought Legoshi's mom was Juno. She thought that Juno was dead. She didn't realize that Juno was over there on the left. Where I said, oh, look, it's Juno. And then I went over here to the right, and I went, oh, look, it's Juno. Juno is dead. Oh, my God. Bro, I'm fumbling the bag in my illustrious career as a manga reactor in this last chapter. What a fucking blunder. What a dumbass I am. Of course that's his mom. Of course. It's not fucking Juno. Juno's not dead. Juno's just out there being a little fucker. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. It's very stupid of me. Juno's probably going to be on the very next page. And they're going to be like, Juno is still alive. That was his mom. Lewis on the star of Safari Magazine. A New Age of the Horns Conglomerate. Tried to be model prisoners to shorten their sentence, but extras backfired and it was extended by 5 years. Sure. Our boss is a cover boy now. Cute, good. Sure. Alright. Man, this is the just unequivocally happy ending that I dreamed of. The unilaterally good ending. Even though society still has its issues and stuff. It's just like every character is as happy as they can be. Looks great. Still a long way from becoming the stag that deserves these glasses. Oh, wait, was he wearing his dad's glasses on the cover? No. He's just trying them out now. Became new president of the Horns Conglomerate. His conference raised the company's reputation. His management is on point. Let's go, Lewis! Ooh, Azuki-san and him moving in together. Why don't we go to the museum once in a while as a married couple? It's peaceful out there. Doesn't benefit our company, but that sounds fine. Okay, they're like making it work. He does have this weird, ambiguous feeling around Juno, but it's not impacting this very fortunate relationship. Oh, what a good shot. Look at this yak, dude. It's like, ooh. Whoa. Oh, so good. Wait, is this the carnivore going berserk that Yaya was responding to? I don't think so. They said like 3rd Street or whatever. This is friggin' Shibuya. We're actually dating. I love that. In the last moment, they have this super definite, conclusive acknowledgement of their relationship in the context of the struggles that they're always going to face. Let's keep on living hand in hand. It's so good. We have Beast Complex. Independent short stories. Wonderful 4 years. Thank you, Humanoids, for supporting me. Nice, nice. And then there's some extras. These are just the volume extras, I think. Oh, there's a afterword from Paru Sensei. 4 years. It feels like short. Like, I'm surprised it only ran for 4 years. It feels like it had such a huge cultural impact. So many people have heard of this series. Like, people that are not super into anime or manga. This has, like, penetrated the mainstream and become kind of a crossover hit. And despite that, it's so weird. And despite that, it never once compromised on all the stuff that made it great. Every week I would draft storyboards, draw scenes, make manuscripts, attend meetings, and then go back to drafting storyboards. As I continued that routine, I became faintly aware that, oh, it's going to end by the time I finished Volume 18. Didn't feel moved, burnt out, or any other grand weight of emotion. Calmly reflective of the fact that I'd managed to get the chapter done that week. But before I started work on the last 3 chapters, out of nowhere, I started getting a bunch of abnormal reactions in my body, like bloody pee and asthma that was worse than usual. She also felt her body hitting the brakes, just like me. Right at the end, it's sometimes tough to finish. Makes me sad more than anything else that I won't be able to draw Legoshi every week anymore. I'm enthusiastic about writing manga that's even better than Beastars, but I'm not sure I can write any character with more love than I put into writing Legoshi. I remember she says in some supplementary materials that got translated earlier on that Legoshi is a character that's been with her since she was like a kid. That she had always this vision of this wolf character and what his personality was going to be like and the sort of story that he would have. And it wasn't until Beastars that she felt comfortable and confident drawing Legoshi and actually bringing him to life in a story. And I can get that because I had characters as a kid too that stuck with me for a really long time. And I don't think about them often, and I think if I was to write now, it wouldn't involve any of my childhood characters. But they're still there. They're still like waiting for me. And I feel like if the day was to come that I would make a story about them, that would be an effort of great, tremendous love. That it would be a great act of love to bring that character to life that had been such a comfort to me in my childhood. Like the character Keat, that of course comes from my username Keatsta. The character that I saw as representing myself as a kid in the grand JRPG that existed in my imagination. That's the sort of character the Legoshi is for Paru Sensei. And I get her. How could she ever compare to him? How could she ever have another character that compares to him? Every beginning has an ending. My debut manga is over. Managed to complete all the way through. Got to spend my 20s, the adolescence of my life, by walking together with Legoshi. Every interaction with any human besides yourself is an interspecies interaction. I think that's the true message of the series, right? Like, I really appreciate that it resists any clear analogy or any feeling of like this is a allegory for X and Y, X represents blank, nothing like that. Never anything anywhere near that simple. There's always so many more dimensions, always so many more complexes. But in the end, this is what it is, that it's about How do we relate to people that are different than us? How do we relate to people that have a different view of the world than us, that need different accommodation than us, that have different fears and different hopes than us? And it's every story is a story of that. Every relationship you have in your life is a story of that. Perhaps what I wanted to portray more than anything else in this manga were the difficulties and values of such interactions. Despite how confused I was when first writing it, despite how unreadable the chapters sometimes got, come on. What are you talking about? Teardrops. Yeah, it was good. It was really, really good. I felt like the ending seemed rushed. I think that's like my only source of sadness around this series, is that I felt like it could have gone on a lot longer. Like, there could have been so many intermediary arcs building up a few more things, or more of a balance where we had arcs that were more about relationships, or arcs that were more about some side characters. It escalated in a way that focused more and more about conflicts, which makes sense, because as you build things up, it's like the conflicts present themselves as what you have to address. It wouldn't make sense just to let them go. But I don't know, it's like a sadness I feel for the characters, I guess, that we didn't get to see them more at peace, that we didn't get to live in this world at peace more often, that it was always a struggle. But I guess that's what the message of the series is. I guess that's just how people's lives are defined, even if there is a day-to-day that is more peaceful, that is more balanced. Their lives are defined by conflict, and this story is the story of resolving those conflicts. But it was so good. I don't know. I feel like I'm having an adequate emotional response to it, which is an absurd thing to say. Like, I feel like this ought to make me cry. Like, I think the enormity of the accomplishment that this manga is, especially for Paru, that this is her first manga, which is crazy to me. Living in the shadow of her father, who is the mangaka for Baki the Grappler, a gigantically successful series. And it's such a personal love of, like, this was not done because she needed to write manga. This was not something that was strategically designed to sell or to appeal to a lot of people. It was a labor of intense love coming from a very strange and quirky person who wanted to depict things that I don't understand why she thought people would want to see. There was a million ways in which the story could have been made easier for people. It could be less fetishy or less sexual or less violent. So many things in the plot that were like kind of forced to exist by the world she built up. She could have trivially changed the world to avoid and to not have to confront and deal with. But it's like I said, that she sets up these like world building things in almost in the way that's like most inconvenient to her, and executes them in the way that does her the least favors, and just kind of like leaves her having to depict such horrible things and having to confront such difficult issues over and over and over again, more and more intense each time. And so many things were left unresolved too. Like, so many things are just like, yeah, that's still a problem. Yeah, that's still a challenge. Like, the whole existence of Melon as this tragic hybrid of a carnivore and an herbivore. Are Haru and Legoshi's kids going to be like that if they have kids? Are we supposed to assume that they just won't have kids, or that their kids will turn out fine? I don't think so. I think conceivably you can imagine a whole arc or a whole series devoted to the tragic child of Haru and Legoshi, who feels out of place in the world and can't enjoy food and has all the problems that Melon had. And this long emotional struggle for them to give that child a good life. Like, all of this stuff was never going to be easy for anyone. And I think that's like the overwhelming message that Paru wants to present is like, it's just a struggle. Here we see a little biographical comic of Paru Sensei's highlights and working on Beastars. Here she depicts herself as like a chicken. In her autobiographical manga, she's more like a duck, but whatever. Going on a trip to Spain and France. Watching the era name change in my workplace. Reiwa. Getting fever from the knowledge that I would receive the Mango Taisho Award the next day. Oh my gosh. So I can completely rework a finished 20-page manuscript. I ended up writing for 2 weeks as a fan, so it all turned out fine and dandy. I love the understatement there. That it did not turn out fine and dandy for her, and she instead probably worked all night every night writing an entirely other thing. Picture Tori answer check. Huh? I love these little drawings. I just love the way she draws so much. There's so much personality to everything. This is like a good Japanese quiz, but I'm too lazy. It's just fun to look at the drawings. And then here's the answer key. Sure. Maybe later I'll try it. It's like a good little vocab quiz. Some of them I know. Suika. What's a word that starts with ka for? Aisu, suika. And then swim ringu. Whatever. The beginning of Beastars chapter 195, I put in a conversation between Gohin and Legoshi. Oh yeah, because they never like meet again. Gohin we see again, and there was never like a Gosha and Legoshi scene either. Cheerfully removed it. I like the scene quite a bit. I'm glad I can show it to you here. You read it, it's so small. So this is where we find out that he's transferred his job. Bamboo cigars and bamboo dangos. Go read the new... okay, sure. Some medical novel. Really done it this time. You changed the world. Again. Is it the only black market in the world? We just don't know. Parting words for some of the characters. Legoshi, you've done a great job for yourself. You're definitely going to have lots of fights with Haru in the future, but I can tell you that many fun days will be waiting for you. I hope you'll get to work at an insectarium after your high school certificate, of course. That was another weird thing in this series. Is the whole eating bugs stuff. And you're like, okay, they eat bugs, sure, that makes sense, because it's a form of protein and it's not sapient. And then Legoshi eats a bug, and he has this crazy tripped out vision of like a moth person talking to him. What was going on there? Are they actually sapient? Are they like ancestrally sapient? Are they like transcendent in a way even more than the sea persons? Is it suggesting that the more ancient the species is, the more it actually has developed back into the animal form? Or not even back, but it's like they started as humans and now they're evolving into just raw animals? And that the final form of like Beastars Utopia is that they just return to monk and just live as animals and there's no society anymore? But then like the messaging is like opposite with the Haru and Legoshi, where it's like the dream is like incorporating all lifestyles into an even more non-human civilization, or not non-animalistic, more human civilization, where people are just treating each other like non-species individuals. But it's like, is it even really saying that? Or is it just saying, like, society's not going to change. We're always going to be treated as super weird because a wolf and a rabbit couple is, like, never going to be normal. But we're going to make it work for ourselves. I don't know, man. This series is so weird. So Legoshi some mercy. Don't you dare cheat on him. Hope you be the happiest in the world. Just this, like, scathing warning to Haru. Lewis, I'm pretty sure about 100 more stormy events will be lying in wait in the course of your life. It's the kind of star you were born in. The more you suffer, the more you shine. See, I really like this because it was like a unilaterally happy ending that gave me so much joy and catharsis. But at the same time, on another societal level, it's like, shit is so fucked for everybody. Like, the biggest struggles are still ahead for, like, all these characters. Do you know your romance with Lewis didn't succeed, but I get the feeling you're gonna get a hot boyfriend in 2 months tops. Hell yeah! Much experience, lots of love, and grow up to be an attractive female. Nice. Jack, I hope you stay good friends with Legoshi. You're an intelligent Labrador Retriever. You better get the Nobel Prize. Shishigumi. You guys are always so hard to draw. Go get yourself out of jail so you can work for the new Horns conglomerate. Lewis, the CEO, will find a way to get you guys out eventually. Pina! That was the pretty boy's name. She had a crazy amount of character development. Riz! That was the bear's name. Oh my god. Riz sucked on your fingers. Let's be some magical finger sucking. Bill, yeah. Couldn't imagine that if he drank the rabbit blood after the performance. When she says stuff like, wow, you had a lot of growth, or like, wow, I wouldn't have imagined such and such, she's not kidding. Like, she's the one writing it, but as I said before, God knows how long ago now, she writes it so according to her emotional whims, with this real emotional impulsiveness and spontaneity and stuff, you know? Like, it's not like she like, aspects of it are so planned out, and then other aspects of it, she just, like, really just lets the characters take the story of the direction of the story. Managing pretty big in Animal Society. Yeah, good luck, Bill. Yeah. I've always been by your side. The 500 cornered rats. Guessing you burned down your carrot farm. I'm guessing. She really doesn't know. Go Shy. You've had a lot of rough moments in your life. Because you were always smiling, Legoshi grew up to be such a good wolf. You did a great job. Alan, you're still the center of attention in the Beastars internet. He's under heavy surveillance because he's liable to get out of his cell. And do villain stuff at least once a year. She really is just imagining that the series just goes on forever. And why did you end it? I really feel like this could have been 50 volumes. And it would have been full of interesting scenarios and bangers. Legoshi at the tiny rabbit's house, trying to pour a drink for Haru's dad. Haru's little brother recording him with his phone, being a brat. Aw, visiting Gosha. Bringing reptile cookies for Gosha. They're squatting down, but she's on her tippy toes. Legoshi and Haru. Here they have written as Hal, which is a very different name. Makes me think of Malcolm in the Middle. Animal version youth human drama. What are your favorite volume numbers? You know what's my 5 of my favorite Beastars volume numbers, which I base mostly on sensual criteria, like the cover, the contents, and the most memorable scenes. Sure. Volume 3. Pretty tough, but at this time I was still able to get a good sleep every night. Welp. Volume 9. I like the cover. Shading the story is very intense. Tell when I'm flipping through the pages. You can tell that she just kind of grabbed the books at random and was like flipping through them to make this little bit of omakase. Omakase? No. What am I trying to say here? For bonus. Omake. Omake content. So he's getting right into the climax. Feeling pretty relieved when I was working on the chapters of the volume. After I got Legoshi out of his school and wondered how the heck I was going to keep the story moving. Sangwan's appearance created a lot of world building, and that made me relieved because it meant I still had a lot of writing material. So when I was feeling constantly excited about the volume, I was asking myself, how is this manga going to turn out? I was realizing the close relationship between the urge to destroy and the feeling of excitement. Struggling pretty hard with setting up Legoshi's mom's first appearance, but I was pretty happy with how it ended up. A lot of my favorite chapter titles. This series has so many banger chapter titles this whole time. Fire Me Gasoline from Sia's famous song the same name. Huh. Well, there you go. Final page. Oh, Haru walking up on the side. So good. Okay, that's it. Good series. Good series. I can move it from plan to read to completed. Good stuff. What has Paru-sensei done besides this that I want to read? Ooh, a new series, Sanda. It's in its 3rd volume. Set in the future. Plan to read. Excuse me. That's the thing with finishing series. It's not like the author just quits. You can read new stuff from them. I want to read Beast Complex 2. Put that in the plan to read. Oh, there's like multiple volumes of Beast Complex. I didn't realize. Haha. Okay. That's all. Bye-bye.